Light, joy, and peace abide in you. Your sinlessness is guaranteed by God. It's lesson 93 from the Course in Miracles workbook. Light, joy, and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. Now, so whether we are acknowledging this about ourselves or about our brothers, it is about choosing God's will instead of the insane ideas of a false self which I attempted to create apart from him. And the resistance to your sinlessness, the resistance to my sinlessness is, it's really interesting to see how from this frequency of guilt, from this feeling frequency of guilt, with this temptation to attack ourselves and project that onto others, to choose that again and again and again, deny God's will, resist God's will, and stay in that energy field, it has no power. It has no real power. And yet it just seems like a good idea. In our morning session this morning, I was just finding so much that negativity that I was unwilling to relinquish. And it's not God slowing us down. It's my own free choice, my own will, the freedom inherent in God's creation to choose where we go in this infinite field of love, that I choose to hang on to negativity. And so when this lesson is stressing that we are might be very well served by continuing to remind ourselves that our sinlessness is guaranteed by God. God's will for us is sinlessness. God's will for us is all at the top of the chart. Anything down here, that's small self-will. That's the illusion. That fear, that anger, that desire, that guilt, that grief, that shame, all of that being that pride, all being small self will. God's will for us is light, joy, and peace, which abides in us all the time when we let go of negativity, when we let go of insisting on trying to be the small self that we created apart from God, or attempted to. It's just an illusion, but it sure does seem real, and we sure do get caught up in it. At least I do. So to look at where I'm insisting, bad me, terrible me, punish me because I have sinned, and claiming that that's real, and turning that over, that feeling of guilt. Yes, in the illusion, I've done all kinds of insane things. It's not what I really am, and to continue to surrender that so I can return my consciousness to a higher frequency by the grace of God, and return to God's will for me, which is happiness, joy, light, peace, divine love, for, through forgiveness of myself and others. And I really look at it as through surrendering to God everything, through letting go absolutely of all of these false concepts which I have been idolizing for so many lifetimes. So let's do a little bit of that. Just remind ourselves throughout the day and relinquish this insistence that I am sinful, that you are sinful, bad, wrong. And the projection of that on others was a very simple couple of sentences. Light and joy, peace, and light and joy and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. And when we are seeing another, light and joy and peace abide in you, your sinlessness is guaranteed by God. And then relinquishing this insistence to cling to saying that I'm sinful or they're sinful, and seek instead the holiness and the innocence at the core of our being and theirs as one. Let's do some releasing. And we tell ourselves throughout the day today, light and joy and peace are in me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. light and joy and peace live in me, and my sinlessness, my innocence, my holiness is guaranteed by God. My sinlessness, my divinity, my lovability, my value is guaranteed by God. My light, my worthiness, my joyfulness is guaranteed by God. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. And telling yourself this, and we tell ourselves this so often because we've been fighting this so often for so long, really trying to insist that we are dark, evil, sinful, bad, and convinced of it. And that's okay, but now is the opportunity to relinquish that. We don't need to beat ourselves up more for making mistakes, all the more to release this energy. And could you allow yourself to just open up and invoke Christ's assistance? Invoke the Holy Spirit. Ask for God's help with the simplicity of the intention to do so and the faith in a higher power greater than the ego, God's will instead of small self will, just opening up and creating a context, choosing an energy field of such great power that the ego will just dissolve. And the ego hates asking God for help. It's going to do it all on its own. And so to just open up and say, God, Holy Spirit, my Lord Christ, I ask for help to relinquish my faith in my sinfulness. And I ask for help to accept my holiness, that light and joy and peace abide in me. And then opening up to that higher power, acknowledging and choosing that energy field of higher consciousness. And in that context, allowing up any of the ego's insistence that you are sinful, any of its endless justifications to keep you trying to be separate from God. And could you, moment by moment, just allow up and let go of any of the ego's claims that you are the home of darkness and evil and sin, and just letting that go? Whatever mistakes you might have seemed to make, whatever wrongs you may have seemed to commit, these are not you. This is not God's will for you. Could you let go? And just letting go of what, and not fighting it either. Fighting it claims it's real or has power over you. Just notice what's been stored in the unconscious, turning it over, noticing what you've been believing about yourself that's been negative, surrendering it to God, just releasing it moment by moment. Your sinlessness is guaranteed. Light, joy, and peace abide in you, and just opening up and allowing up any of this ego nonsense to dissolve through non resistance, that feeling of guilt or whatever it is, shame, whatever it is, in the context of the love of God, a higher power, just allowing that up to let it go. Could you let it go? And just moment by moment, surrendering the belief and faith in your sinfulness to recognize God's will for you, your holiness, your lovability, your light. When could you let go of these ego programs that would attempt to claim you are unholy, or sinful. And just like I was sharing, amazing how much still comes up for me when I really open up to this and see where I'm still insisting I'm bad, I'm evil, I'm wrong. And so the lesson says that that to put these foolish self-images away, I'm going to have to realize that I've got such firmly fixed beliefs in my sinfulness and evilness and wrongness that I must again and again turn to God's will, turn to a higher power, turn to divine love, the Christ presence, the Holy Spirit's assistance to transcend this belief in my sinfulness, this belief that darkness and wickedness abide in me, surrendering that to God, that I may accept, choose, and become the light and joy and peace that abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. The ego would claim that I am sinful, and that is not God's will. And could you allow yourself to just say to yourself, light, joy, and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed. And moment by moment, just surrendering the ego's denial of this to God. Not fighting it, not trying to change it, not saying it's real, just opening up. And any of this ego programming, those feelings of guilt or fear or whatever it is that comes up, all those justifications. Well, what about this? You did this, you did this, you did it. Letting that all go. You can grab onto it, you can fight it and keep it stuck, or you can release that energy, turn it over to God. Could you surrender the ego's denial of your holiness? Would you surrender the ego's claim to your sinfulness? Turn it over to God and be reminded, be the presence, the light and joy and peace that abide in you, which you will see very clearly when you let go of the ego's will and accept God's. Chris, would you surrender this ego denial of your holiness and your sinlessness? God's will for you is your perfect sinlessness, for that is what He created. All else is an illusion. Could you let it go? And just reminding yourself, because there could be plenty of resistance. I mean, I love Catholic church services, and I've been to many, but there's this like there's some kind of repetitious thing that's said in there, like I'm such a sinner, I'm such a sinner, which my false self really believes that, and kind of making a mantra out of it. I have no criticisms of the Catholic Church, though I just choose for myself a mantra like this: light and joy and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed. And so, could you try that for yourself? Light, joy, and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed. And just trying that out. What's that like? Light, joy, and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed. Though, gosh, I've really been trying to insist that I am sinful, that I'm bad, that I'm a home of evil and darkness. And God, I need thy help. Christ, I ask for thy hand and I reach out for it. Holy Spirit, I avail myself to divine love and assistance. And just choosing to be the home of light and joy and peace, and releasing, surrendering the resistance to God. So as the ego says, no, no, you're bad, you're evil, you're wrong, you can't turn to God, you wicked, wicked person, you say, oh, look at that. Without fighting it, without challenging it, you just let it be non existent, unreal, as you just surrender it to God. Any resistance that the ego brings up, for the ego is dying. The ego will dissolve, but what you are is eternal, holy, and forever. It's always okay to surrender the ego's programs that would attempt to hold you from God's will, and claiming you're sinful, bad, or evil, and that lives in you. Could you just surrender any of the ego's arguments against this lesson? We're told that there's going to be a lot of resistance to these ideas right at the beginning of the workbook. Don't be surprised that they're still showing up now. Could you allow yourself to continue to surrender any of the ego denial of your holiness, your joyfulness, your sinlessness, just surrendering it to God, to the Lord Christ, to the Holy Spirit, moment by moment? Could you surrender the ego's nonsense? Let it be just an illusion and continue turning it over to God. Any feeling and any of these beliefs or programs about your unholiness, just giving them up, surrendering them to God. Would you surrender? We need not fear the ego's programs or beat ourselves up about them. They're simply not real. They're not God's will for us, for you, for me. It's just not God's will, and therefore we let it go. And if we are finding ourselves holding on, the ego's really clinging, just continuing to surrender it to God. It's okay. And just choosing light, joy, and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. And if you're willing to just choose to be with that throughout the day, light, joy, and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. Light, joy, and peace abide in you. Your sinlessness is guaranteed by God. Relinquishing these grievances and resentments with the small self and the egos of yourself and others. Just going home, it's not God's will for us to hold grievances and resentments and claims of sinfulness. God's will for us and our brothers is being the home of joy, of light, of love, of grace, of holiness. Our sinlessness is guaranteed by God. Could you continue to surrender any of these ego programs to your higher power, your higher self, and be the home of love, of joy, of light, and peace today? Well done releasing. Thank you so much for joining us, and have the best day you can.